We are back. Welcome to the Coffee with Sam podcast, guys. A spin-off show. Three's a party with my boys, the MMA guys. 0 wins. Terry, no chin, Brown.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Nermic, get off.
Standing at a staggering 6'2.5" inches.
Wow.
In the heavyweight class.
Wow.
So he is my protector, guardian of my galaxy. Jeez, guys, you think he owned the podcast? Neil, Adam. We're live, by the way. Three's a party.
You've got very feminine writing.
Wow. What have I said of that?
No, but it's not like a child's writing.
What? Why would I have a child's writing? I'm a grown man.
Sam does.
Ooh.
And on that bombshell, welcome to the Freeze a Party podcast. And you just heard our new guest today, but I am your host, Coffee with Sam, and I'm joined today by
The MMA guy, Terry.
And Neil couldn't make it today, so our security is compromised. But we have the savage that is the UFC sensation from Solihull, Alexandra Banfield. Say hello.
Hey, guys.
She's not UFC. And if I have to remind you talking to the mic one more time,
Sorry.
I'm not having another Neil episode. Okay, welcome, guys, to Freeze a Party podcast. There are 3 of us, but there are not the 3 usual. We've got new guest just for this show because Neil couldn't make it. And today we're going to talk about the news. So it's UFC Fight Night. Holland versus Brunson.
That's right.
Brunson. But first we're going to talk about this week's UFC news because we have got a lot to talk about. If you're new to this show, what we do is we're watching the pre-fights, not even the prelims, so the fights running up to the 2 main events. We talk about what's gone on in the week or the last 2 weeks of the UFC or MMA in general, or even the sport world. And then we go into talking over the 2 main event fights. So the first thing I want to talk about is Julia fainting on the scales, a Latvian
Crazy
female fighter fainting twice on the scales. Now, we did talk about this on a recent podcast about making weight, and Dana has started to say that he might be putting different weight classes in, which is not a bad thing because it brings more champions, which brings more money, which brings more fights, which brings more for us to watch. But what's your view on her fainting? And it's in the heavier class, right?
Yeah, it's in the excuse me. It's in the heaviest class for the female fighters. Everybody takes cutting weight differently. Some people have a much harder job to do because they naturally walk around at a lot heavier weight. Obviously, for Julia, that was a really nasty cut, and it was that bad that she passed out on the scale. She couldn't even last long enough to get the electrolytes and the nutrients that she needed after she stepped on the scales. So the fight was cancelled.
Now, it is a big decision, a big thing that needs to happen. It needs to be talked about because it's the same. Someone messaged me and said, "Oh, female," and I was like, "Dude, this is big in the males too.
Yeah,
the males are just as bad as the females at it." Alex, as the people don't know, she is an NHS nurse. So, what's your take on these females or males dropping hella weight to then jump in and fight the next day on from a nurse's background?
Well, it's obviously done healthfully as much as possible, but then clearly she's done something to make weight, to make her pass out and not keep it as healthy as possible.
Well, if you're fighting, the argument is if you're fighting at a weight that you can't naturally or easily get to.
But then if she's fainting on the scales, what could have happened if she was actually fighting the day after?
That's a very good question.
Which is why I am happy with the UFC's decision to cancel it.
Yeah, it's definitely the right thing to do.
I think because the limelight's on them, they've had to do something. They couldn't just say, "Oh, are you okay?"
Come on,
do a bit of Herb Dean on it, and just be like, yeah, you're all right, cool."
Take 20 minutes to make a decision.
Yeah, put it up to the fighter.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like the Sterling fight. Well, no, you shouldn't. That's not the fighter's choice; it's the referee's choice to stop the fight. So what are you talking about, like brain damage, or could she have fainted the day after during the fight?
Well, anything. She's obviously got not enough energy to even stand on scales, let alone fight someone for however many rounds it lasts for.
So where do you think they go from here, Terry?
Well, I think, obviously, this isn't the first case of one of the females in the bantamweight division actually struggling to make weight. So does this now ask the question, or is Dana now thinking to himself, do we need a heavier category for the females? And I think we do.
Please
Absolutely.
don't sniff down the microphone. She's a newbie here, proper newbie. Alex is like, sorry about that, guys. It's really, if your AirPods are in, like, and you just randomly Terry's talking and she rudely sniffs. So you're thinking like a heavyweight or
Yeah, well, it would
light heavyweight?
Your next weight class up from bantamweight would be lightweight.
I want heavyweight females.
I don't know.
I want some of these big mamas, some of these big mamas that you see in street fights. They're ones in street you see on YouTube. And
Yeah,
that.
I know what you mean.
These big mamas whacking each other around on the street. Imagine putting a pair of gloves on them, giving them the class to do it.
Wow, I think we should put it out there.
They should add all the classes that men have got.
Why not? Well, I don't see why not. I think it's a fair point. Why should they not be allowed to fight at their natural weight class?
Because you can't even say like, oh, we've done it because we're keeping females healthier. Because look at DC. DC just chose his weight class so he could eat.
Yeah,
And he's known for that.
he is.
He was unhealthily just, I can fight at heavyweight. Oh, yeah, sound, yeah, I'll put loads of weight on. Cool, get fat.
He did,
And still brawl around.
Yeah, he did.
And it was unhealthy the weight
he
he
was the
put
same
on.
as when he was a wrestler.
He put the unhealthy lots of weight on. So you can't even say like, oh, we're doing it for the females to keep them healthy. But obviously, because females are 9 times out of 10 smaller characters, smaller muscle mass, smaller bone density. So then they can't get to that heavier weight. It's not just all about weight, like body weight. There's a lot to go with it. And
I don't think
females are biologically quite a lot of times smaller.
They are, yeah, naturally.
So to hit that weight, you're going to have to be very unhealthy or just a specimen.
There isn't going to be that many females out there that desire to be an athlete or a mixed martial artist who are going to be 6 foot plus and 205 plus pounds.
I would love to watch it though. Like I said, there's big mamas that go at it on the street in like America and that.
Like a
You fell out. I mean, next door neighbour, bang some gloves on.
female version of DC.
Yeah, they go at it like they throw hands and they bombs. I wouldn't want to be hit by any of them.
No.
I'd be flattened by them.
That's
Give them
very good
something.
point.
Give them a good job to do.
Well, let's start with going up and giving them a lightweight division though,
Yeah, all right.
because I mean Amanda Nunes, I reckon she could probably get that, and she could fight free weights.
Ooh. So we're gonna say it here now. You heard it here first.
You heard it
Because everyone we keep beating everyone to it. Terry keeps beating everyone to it.
It's one of the MMA guys.
You heard it here. Just can't do names, but you heard it here first. Something you just said actually, which just sparked saying 6 foot something. That girl, Megan,
Megan.
she's had to have some time out,
Yes.
and no one knows why.
Well, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say maybe it's because she's fighting at a weight class that is too far underneath where she needs to be. She should be fighting at a heavier weight. She's not. Look how tall she was.
What I'd read though is that she's been forced to have this time
Oh, really?
by the UFC.
Interesting. But then there isn't anybody left in that division who was going to challenge.
Do you reckon
Amanda Nunes.
they've maybe said you didn't even look close against Amanda Nunes?
Well, she didn't even look close.
Maybe we're going to drop you.
Ooh.
Have some time out.
It's a bit unfair.
Think about what you're going to do. You're going to walk away, or are we going to have to drop you?
Well, at least give her another fight with somebody else.
Because she
first.
did look. She didn't even look like Amanda Nunes' other opponents. She looked way under par. Looked like me and you getting in there with her.
Yeah.
She didn't do anything. She didn't do anything. Amanda Nunes is that big Brazilian fighter.
An absolute animal.
Yeah.
And I still think I'd like to see her in the bantamweight male division.
Yes. Or against Jake Paul.
That I would like to see even more.
Knocking out Jake Paul.
That would be amazing.
So, Volkanovski and Ortega is off.
Fuming.
So this fight was scheduled for UFC 260,
Yes.
which is next weekend. The Miocic and
Miocic
and
Ngannou.
Francis Ngannou.
Can't help it. I have to do it that way.
Which we'll talk about that on the fight night.
Yes.
That's going to be a great fight.
Oh, can't wait.
After their last fight, I want Miocic to win because I think he's great. I mean, he's a great fighter, technically great. But hopefully Ngannou can bring something to the table that's not just swinging and power punches. But Volkanovski and Ortega is off for COVID reasons again. Apparently he made it all the way to UFC Apex.
Yeah, he
got
did.
3 tests and then got tested positive whilst at the Apex.
Gutted for him.
But like you said, it's the second time.
I believe that's the second time Volkanovski's fight has been cancelled due to COVID.
Do you think he's scared of losing it? Because he should have lost it to Max Holloway.
He should have lost to Max
That
Holloway.
second fight, he should have lost to Max Holloway.
I agree with that.
So do you think he's scared because Ortega's going to... Because Ortega's a pretty good fight.
tough
Yeah.
as well. And that would have been a really tough fight for him. So maybe I don't think it's that case. I don't think you wouldn't have gone for a full training camp, turned up all the way to another country, and then purposely failed a COVID test.
Yeah, so I feel for him a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I do feel for him because again, that'd have been a fight everyone wants to see. I feel for Ortega as well because obviously that's his chance. Let's just hope they can reschedule it for as soon as possible.
Alex isn't talking much, guys, because she is besotted by the UFC that's on the screen. It's the first ever fight she's watched, ever.
Yes.
The one that we're currently watching. I can't see it.
Yeah,
Giles.
good luck pronouncing that, mate.
Giles versus Dolly Bez.
That ain't bad.
Dolly Bez. Is it a B or a D?
That's a D.
D. Dolly Des.
Dollar days.
Dolly Des. Dollar Des. That was a good roll of the tongue there. Dollar Des.
Cornish in me.
Dollar Des. Dollar Des.
Don't worry about it, mate.
Dollar Des.
D.
Alex is beside with that. So yeah, there's no conspiracy there. You just think it literally is COVID related.
I think it's just really unfortunate.
Gutted. I'm gutted
Very gutted.
because I was excited. I want to see him back in the cage because I want to see if he can defend this title.
Yes. Well, he's only defended it against Holloway
when he should have lost it.
when he should have lost it. Just
So
saying.
moving on, Chandler vs Charles Oliveira.
Disgusting.
It is disgusting. This division, where it's going. Let's talk about all of it. Let's talk about Khabib. Let's talk about McGregor, Poirier. But do you agree with Chandler versus Oliveira?
Absolutely, 100% no.
Not. Oliveira should be there.
Yes, I agree with Oliveira. He's earned his title shot.
And do you think it's another McGregor wrecking things? Because if he hadn't fought Poirier 1, it'd be Poirier Oliveira.
Potentially.
Now.
I think there's a lot going on in the background. I genuinely think Dana's lining up a mega fight.
There's some sort of, yeah.
Yeah. He's put these two together so the winner of this can fight whoever wins between Poirier and McGregor when they have their trilogy match to create a mega fight.
And I think, money-wise, whatever, McGregor loses, he makes money again. I'd like to see him win. I'd like to see him tell everyone, all the haters, that...
Well, he has said he's not finished in this division and he will be champion again.
I hope. But yeah, he come out this week. He was very bold. Probably just hammered from St. Patrick's Day and thought, I'm going to take to Twitter.
Standard.
Because he was hammered on his whiskey or whatever. But he was like, did he say like champion pending or whatever?
He
Book
did.
it.
He did.
Book it. And to me, that means he's throwing the fight with Poirier. If he's that confident he's going to win it again, he's throwing that fight against Poirier. If you're that confident that you're going to be champion again, you don't get beat twice in that division, then say, well, I'm going to be champion again. Like, that's...
Unless maybe that loss has reignited that.
Unless he earns so much money on the losses, he is literally just like, I'm going to roll out as many fights as I can, win or lose. I'm going to keep hyping it up. Because the thing is, he could lose to me another 3 or 4 fights. Another 3 or 4 fights he could lose. He could disappear. He could then take to Twitter, make hype, and he's going to make money and people are going to watch it.
That's why he gets the fights. That's why he's still there.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he could keep losing, and then in 10 months' time, he could be like, yeah, I'm coming back and I'm going to batter this dude. Everyone will be like, oh, he's coming back, he's going to win.
Yeah,
and
the
then we'll
world
watch
erupts.
it. And you watch it,
Yeah,
even though he's just lost 5.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So is he just doing that? Is he just going to keep milking his money, making Dana money, keep milking his money as long as he can and not really worry about wins anymore, more worrying about money?
Yeah, I mean, he's got more money than he'll ever need. I don't think... that obviously, that's not his motivator anymore, which is why I don't think he was the same Conor that fought Poirier as he did the first time round.
Yeah, mate, rocking up on a yacht, you're never going to have the same.
He just wants to get back on it.
You're not fighting for nothing.
Exactly. He's got no motive. But then, losing the way that he did, in the fashion that he did, has that reignited some form of passion?
Yeah,
Has
being
that
knocked
made
out.
him, being beat that easily by Poirier, is that gone?
But now he knows he can be knocked out.
Well, he's saying it's the calf kick, and he's saying, well, hang on, mate, I wasn't knocked out.
He just needs to get back on that karate style.
Yeah.
So yeah, less about him. Let's go about Chandler Oliveira.
Yeah.
We don't believe it. Oliveira should be there. He deserves it. He deserves
Yes.
it months ago, but it should be against Poirier really for the vacate title.
Yes.
Why is there a vacant title? Because Khabib Nurmagomedov has
Well done. That was quite good.
has retired.
He has
He's
officially
retired. Why not? Eh?
Well,
He's been in a lot of people's corners.
He has. He's been coaching a lot.
I've seen he's actually there this weekend again next to Dana.
He is.
So what's he doing? Is he lining up a talking, maybe a Russian side to commentary?
I think he's kind of trying to follow in his dad's footsteps. He's very, very tied into AKA and the whole team there. I think he wants. Obviously, his job now is a coach at that camp, and I think that's where he wants to build his career. I also think he's just sitting there lying in wait. He wants to see. At the minute, there's nobody in that division that excites him or makes him think, I want to fight again.
Conor gets the title. Khabib says, let's rock and roll.
I don't
I'm
think
back.
I think if that was to happen, I don't think Khabib will come out of retirement. I think if Chandler wins it, then he'll come out because he hasn't fought Chandler.
But is that not a mega fight?
No, but if Chandler beats Oliveira and then Chandler beats either Poirier and McGregor, that then will become a mega fight against Khabib.
I'd still rather see Conor Khabib again. And Khabib out of retirement for it.
Well, I think everybody wants to see Khabib and Conor again, but let's face it, Conor's going to get annoyed.
That's what I mean though. Like 5 years down the line, boom, mega fight.
He'd get hammered.
He
Sorry,
would.
Conor.
He probably would. Yeah, sorry, man. He probably would. So that division. So we're seeing Chandler Oliveira. We're seeing Poirier Conor. You're saying the winner out of that fights the winner out of Charles Oliveira.
Yes, I am.
Chandler. Where does Poirier fall into that?
Well,
just
if he loses against McGregor,
how unfair is that though?
You'll be looking at him fighting Gaethje again, or maybe.
How unfair is that?
It
He's just
is
going to keep
unfair.
fighting and never get the title when he deserves it.
Chandler's had one
He should be
fight.
given it now.
Chad's one fight.
Poirier should be given the title.
Yeah, well, I don't know about giving it. He definitely should
He's
be.
beat the top 5.
Well, he has. That's
Apart
true.
from Chandler, who's not the top 5, he's like top 10.
Yeah, that's very true.
He's beat the rest of them.
Which is why, really, that should be Oliveira and Poirier for the
Yeah.
vacant interim belt.
Yeah.
But Dana wants to jump on the back of both Oliveira and Chandler's wins, and Chandler's coming with massive hype from his previous.
So, babe, if you don't know, Chandler, he came in, he's had one fight in the UFC, knocked someone out on a big card, first round, spectacularly. So now he's been given a fight
almost
to
busted
then
his
fight
ankle
for the
celebrating.
title. So he could be 2 fights in and he could be a world championship, world champion.
Fuming.
Say it louder, babe.
Fuming.
I turned you on mic up as well. It's still not loud enough. So, in the words of the world famous Terry Brown,
Oh, I love that.
never mind.
Yeah, well,
Moving
never
on.
mind.
Never mind. Moving on. Masvidal vs Usman. Now, a lot of people have said people have pushed for this fight
They have.
and now don't really want it
No.
because they're like they still can't see Masvidal winning it.
No.
So it's like bore off in that division.
A little bit.
But the whole card is amazing. It's another 3 title fights,
Yeah.
all on one night
Triple header.
with fans.
Yes.
Because Florida have said the middle finger. Let's get
is
fans
up.
back. How do you feel about that, Alexandra? From a nursing point of view, fans being back in a full stadium already in, is it April the card is? UFC
No, it's May.
260? May?
No.
April.
It's April.
April.
Well, if it's safe, you got to do it.
That's
But
definitely not what you said at home.
Yeah. Fence sitting.
no, but it's not though. If it's sooner than it needs to be, then it's unsafe. But if they're doing it safely,
Florida's been open for months.
well, Americans don't care.
Ooh, sorry to our American fans.
They
We
don't.
didn't know she was going to kick off.
They don't give a shit
You ain't
about
coming back on again
COVID.
if I drop views.
They don't. They don't care about COVID. Most people don't care about COVID, but
I think it's a point now though. It has got a bit long in the tooth.
yeah, but it's safety.
So you don't agree with them having fans back in April?
No.
Packed out stadium. Not even thinking about. It's not like Wembley.
Is it not going to be restricted? Is it full
full crowd.
Oh, Jesus.
They've said, but is that just winding it up to then be something like? Are they
I mean-
saying that to hype it up to then say actually no, there's going to be minimal?
It's one of those things, and it'd be great to be in a position where we can have that atmosphere back again. But are you risking people's safety by doing so?
Because the Olympics have cancelled all spectators
Well,
for the Olympics.
so how can the Olympics say no, it's not safe, and the UFC say yes, it is safe?
Yeah. And I'm glad. I think the Olympics though is because you're going to have overseas, so they'd banned overseas spectators to start off,
You can have that
and then
without-
everyone was like, "How's that work?"
Yeah.
Whereas UFC's not a big deal if overseas people can't travel.
No, you're still going to fill.
It's not like the
stadium
Olympics
with
where you're like,
Americans,
"Oh,
isn't it?
so
But if the Olympics were in America, would it be the same thing? Would they have
Ooh.
spectators?
Yes, I bet they would.
probably yes, Florida."
Yeah, I bet they would.
There you go.
They don't care down there.
They don't care.
They're even worse than Texas at the moment. Like, you expected Texas to be like, "Yeehaw, let's do it," but they're a bit like they've been very steady and taking their time. They've been a bit open than other places. They've understood that certain shops need to be open, but they've still been restricted with it. Where Florida's just been like, "Let's rock and roll, guys. Let's
Yeah.
get the beaches full."
Sod it.
That's very English of you.
I was just thinking that.
Sod it. She's over there saying shit. Give a shit over there.
I know,
She went
we're being
in.
all politically correct.
So that card, with fans. It's going to be good, and I hope Masvidal brings back his old Masvidal, not 3 weeks or 6 days contention fat Masvidal.
He's going to be in a lot better condition than what he was.
And at the end of the day, he did rock Usman.
He did. But so did
Gilbert Burns' fight went longer than the Usman fight, didn't it? No, was it?
Yeah,
decision?
Masvidal went longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How? With 6 day notice.
Who knows?
And Burns is a.
So but that's why people want to see it again, isn't it? Because they want to see Masvidal in peak condition with a full camp. Can he do damage to Usman? I really, really hope he can. I'm just every time we talk about him, I'm here going, someone's got to beat him. Someone please beat him. I hate him.
I can tell.
Strong words.
Did Usman? The reason why Terry doesn't like him is because he's a technical fighter, just gets the wins. So, like, if I just kick you, that's a point. If I tap you, that's a point.
Is this the one that stamps on his feet?
So
Yeah.
Usman's a foot stamp. So he gets you against the cage. He leans against you because he's a big guy. Then he just stamps on your toes. That's a point.
Yeah.
That's a point.
That'd
That's a
piss me
point.
off.
That's a point.
He's a boring fighter.
But so that's why Terry doesn't like him. Burns' fight.
Yeah,
That was not boring. They were throwing bombs. He was on the ground saying, "Let's get up. Let's fight. Let's not rest." He could have just got on top of Burns and lay on him.
So, was it Usman's previous camp that was the problem? Because I think he went to top 10. Did he go to top 10?
Top team.
Top team. Do apologise. He went to top team for the camp against Burns, and he looked a different fighter.
Yeah, behind his jab, and he was more aggressive.
But he did nearly get knocked out.
That's the thing, though. So, like, for me as a fighter, if I just go on this great win streak, I'm earning tens of thousands of pounds. People don't like me because I'm a stamper, but I haven't never been punched in the face, never been knocked out. And then okay, let's be more exciting. Then you nearly get knocked out. I'll be like, back in your cage, Sam. Back to foot stamping and leaning. Yeah. Because I don't want to be knocked out. And my face is beautiful.
But clearly he's not a good enough fighter. If he's getting knocked out.
He's never actually been knocked out.
But if he's almost getting knocked out when he's actually more aggressive and involved, then clearly he's not good enough.
Ooh, it's a big statement.
But it's only because he came out like that. So you have different styles of fighters. And
yes, you do. It's true.
He wasn't a good enough fighter because he was a leaner and a stamper. So now he's come out and they've been rocked. He's not a good enough. Like, it's technical how your technical ability is. Like, not everyone's got a good chin. You could hit me and I could get knocked out. I could hit you and you could probably just rock it off.
It's like a boxer.
You never know.
A boxer
That's
can
true,
hide
though.
behind his jab, and he can sit there all night just throwing his jab, clocking up points. End of 12 rounds, he's won the fight. No one's going to enjoy watching that fight, but at the end of the day, he's still a champion. And it's exactly the same for Usman. That's what he's just really clever in how he constructs his camp, how he constructs his game plan, and how he uses his skills to ensure his victory.
With less damage, so you can finish your career.
This is the way he's getting to the top.
Yeah. So
he's already at the top. He's a champion.
He's champion.
Oh, there you go.
He's undefeated.
So I mean, if you can get to the top,
He's clearly done something right then.
if you can get to the top by taking less
damage,
and still winning, why not?
Yeah, I completely understand and I respect that. I just don't like him.
Or was this camp with Burns, did he come out to be more aggressive to get ready for the Masvidal fight? Because he's going to have to be a bit more aggressive against Masvidal.
Well, Masvidal ain't really going to give him much choice, is he?
Because Usman's probably going to want to knock him out.
Yeah, they don't like each other, do they?
No.
But then saying that, when he fought Colby Covington, and they really didn't like each other. I mean, there was some serious beef between them. I'm gonna go with that.
Racial,
beef.
wasn't it?
It was.
Racial,
I think that was an element that involved.
Racial.
And he come out of that fight and he fought really well against Colby Covington and he pretty much annihilated him.
Yeah. But same again, like, is he that much of a good of a fighter that he doesn't let that? There was a lot of racial. There's a lot of, with Masvidal, just a lot of hate. Doesn't let that come out because then you end up swinging and you end up in a war. He comes out, I'm going to win, and I'm going to win on my record. I'm going to win in the MMA industry. They know I'm winning.
He's very professional, and he said in the press conferences with Colby Covington, I'll do my talking in the ring. I ain't going to sit here and slag you.
Yeah, like, don't let emotion get the best of you.
He's very good at that.
Like, yeah, I battered him because of what he was saying racially or whatever. I battered him. Well, no, he's just in his head. I'll beat him. That's fine. So it makes him look silly.
It doesn't matter what you say to me now. You lost. Get back under your rock.
So they're also in a bit of a division confusion, right? The Usman.
I mean, there isn't many people left now to fight him.
With Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
And all that going on in there. That division's a bit. I saw a good meme, however you say it.
Meme.
Every time. Memes. Mamai.
It's meme.
Meme. You're a bit louder, babe. Your banter would be funny if you were a bit louder. You're like... Love ya. So people who don't know, Alexandra is my fiancée, my beautiful wife,
Not
my
yet.
lady.
I love that. Not yet.
Kelly doesn't love me back. All she's doing is just
It can change.
killing me on this podcast. Literally killing me.
I'm enjoying it.
So that division, there was a good memes, a good meme,
Fuck's sake.
and it had like 4 of the top 4 or 5 in that division, and it was this dude just poking them with a stick. Do something, do something, and it's because none of them will fight each other, because this whole, like we talked about, Connor's ruined it. This whole money.
Yeah.
No, you need to fight you. If you don't want to fight each other, you're now dropping a place.
Absolutely.
Like, do you know what I
There's
mean?
hungry people above them.
If number 1 doesn't want to fight number 2 or number 3, maybe, then if you say no, you drop to number 4. Like you drop down to number 2, you drop a place. If you turn down a fight, you drop down a place. That's like being in the World Cup and saying, I don't fancy playing France.
Yeah.
Can I play?
They're a bit good.
Yeah, I don't want to play them. Well, that's your knockout. Well, yeah, I don't want. Can I play the 4th in the group, please?
Yeah, I'll hang on.
Like Dana needs to start saying, you fight you. If you don't, there's consequences.
Yeah.
That's the only way
I completely
That's the only way
agree
the
with that.
system works, and that's why, because everybody, all the top 5 want to fight the champion.
But you know why he doesn't do that? Because then he can't create fights like Chandler and Oliveira.
Yeah.
So that kills him if he does that.
That division now, like Leon Edwards been on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he said pretty good. Fair enough. Joe Rogan was trying to stoke him and say, but don't you think that Mohammed deserves the rematch? And he was saying, Leon was saying, I feel for him, but he was a step in.
He was a step in.
So he doesn't deserve the fight in the first place, so he doesn't deserve the rematch.
No.
Leon was saying, I just need to look forward.
Yes.
So think of those fights you could make there, like the Leon Kobe. That's who he wants next. He wants Kobe Covington.
That's a good fight.
Great fight, but he keeps saying no. And then you've got, why not Leon Edwards? Why not number 3 fight number 2? Imagine that.
Yeah.
Burns vs Leon.
Yeah.
And then Leon, if he wins that, then he deserves to fight the champion. Masvidal's like 4th or 5th. He doesn't deserve to fight for the championship.
Yeah.
Like Masvidal should be fighting Kobe or should be fighting Leon.
Because he's already lost him once, albeit it was a very short camp and it was last minute step in. And I'm sure at some point he would, when they were discussing terms, Masvidal would have said, if I lose, this isn't going to affect my title shot when I'm ready.
Yeah.
Because that's something I would have done.
It's just, it upsets you as a fan because you can see so many good fights there, but they're all thinking, oh, I've got to make my future. No, when did fighting? It should be about that, and you should be asking for the right amount of money. Yeah, but when you people like Connors can make the money, why not make the same money as them? But you can't just say, well, I'll only fight him for the money. I'm not going to fight anyone for 10 years because you're not going to pay me enough. Like,
it's not. Yeah, it's not how it works.
Because at the end of the day, it ends up going wrong. Because look at John Jones. He's slowly disappearing into existence. Like, no one cares.
Yeah, he keeps threatening with this big insurgents. Ooh,
but he dropped out because Dana wouldn't pay him the money.
Yeah, but then do you know what? If I was Dana, I'd be like, do you know what? See you later, then, pal. Go fight Bellator.
Which is what he did.
Yeah, and I'll look at he's got his contender series. He's got up and coming fighters who are out of the top 5 or in the top 15 who are exciting to watch. Let's use them. If these guys ain't willing to fight because there's not enough money, fuck them off.
Yeah,
simple as that.
Yeah, do it.
I mean, you're there to represent the brand.
And like I say, that's it's like for John Jones, it's actually backfired because he expected Dana to be like, oh, please, come back, I'll pay you the money. He then got stoked by Adesanya, who's just lost to a light heavyweight. Well, no one's excited about that fight anymore because John Jones is clearly you're going to beat Adesanya. Like,
oh yeah.
Like we would have been if he'd won that fight, we'd have been okay. This mega fight can happen.
But you don't deserve it in the sense
because
he fought nobody in age. That's what he fought was Dominic Reyes.
Yeah, not for a title maybe, but just to batter each other. But now no one's interested because Adesanya can't fight in that weight class. It's like. So John Jones he lost the first battle of saying, well, pay me more. And then he's gone the other way. Okay, I'm going to get a mega fight. Well, no, you're not.
Money should be something that it should be a bonus because ultimately you're doing what you're passionate about.
Yeah, it should come after.
It's a dream for people to be able to compete at that level and earn money at the same time. So it shouldn't be about money. It should be about your ability to be the best. It shouldn't matter how many fights you've got to have or who you've got to fight. You should be ready to fight at any given notice.
And that's the welterweight division, right? Masvidal Usman.
Yes, welterweight.
And then the Conor and
lightweight
is lightweight. So both those divisions look, as the kids would say these days, lit.
Lit.
It's
a great word.
They look great. They look real exciting for the future. If Dana can just start becoming an actual boss and telling people to fight each other. Because there's enough fights in there to keep those divisions going. And the heavyweight division looks amazing at the moment.
It does. I think all of them are. They all look exciting. They all got serious contending fighters in it, with exciting fighters.
And then you've got, what's the division that Corey Sandhagen's in?
Featherweight.
Featherweight.
Is that lightweight as well?
Because if it is, that's
No, that's bantamweight. It's bantamweight.
That division with Corey Sandhagen in looks incredible.
Yeah, because that's off the back of obviously Peter Yan and Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah.
Same division.
Well, obviously they're going to go round 2, clearly.
And you got Corey Gambrandt. I can never pronounce his last name. Gambrandt.
Goldbrandt.
Is it?
Kobe Goldbrandt.
No love. Cody No Love. There we go. Easy.
Teddy No Love. Toby?
Toby?
He's Toby.
Brother.
Kobe No Love. So that's this week's fight news, guys. We will be back after a short break to bring you the 2 main events from UFC Fight Night, March the 21st. Wow.
Wow.
Smashed it.